are.
There you are.
And starting live video. And all right, Marty, welcome.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to BizDev Leaders. Today is March 12th at WeWork at 42nd and 3rd Avenue. So I'm glad that you're all here. And so I'm Marty Katz, and I'm a marketing consultant. And Raphi is?
That's me.
This is Raphi.
Go on. Hey, don't be afraid of the camera, Marty. Don't be afraid. Just speak regularly.
Raphi is the growth specialist for a company called 5 Blocks, and he's in reputation management online. I'll tell you what that means in a little while. So our day today, our morning today, has 2 parts. One part is a workshop, and lucky you, it's just the 2 of you, so you've got lots of time. And during this workshop, you're going to learn about your messaging, about your company, and how to maybe craft it in a way that will allow you to connect better with your target audience. And then after that, there's networking. So we have a small group of networkers today. It's just the 2 of you, but let's just see where that goes. How does that sound? Good so far? Very good. Now I'm going to, here's,
This is Facebook Live, Andrew.
Hey Facebook, how we doing?
Okay.
So this is Andrew. He works for WeWork.
Yes.
He's the director of sales for this and other buildings.
Yes, yes, correct. You want me to kind of elaborate a little bit on that?
No, not yet. We will shortly.
Okay.
So we're just about to start the workshop portion. And so the workshop is how do we connect with our target audience?
You should talk to WeWork about better erasers. What's going on over there? You know you're on Facebook Live, right, Marty?
I do.
But now, I mean, it's hardly working. Andrew, can we?
Is there another eraser?
Do we have an opinion about this?
What is that helpful? What is that?
This does tend to help, but let me see if I can. I can grab. So essentially, with this board, you just use the Expo, and then you have a rag. So this is
Okay, great.
much of.
Hello. Hi, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Have a seat.
Want me to go grab a rag?
That would be great. So while he's grabbing, I'll tell you what this is about. What's your name?
Jake.
Jake. I'm Marty. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, elbow.
No, I don't see elbow. In any case, so the workshop portion it starts with a question: who here wants to grow their business?
Everybody raise their hand.
Everybody raise their hand. So we're going to spend a little time talking about how we present ourselves in person and online. In every communication, how can we really connect best with our target audience? What do we need to do? That's what this is based on. And I came to this particular approach that I use because I spent many years in marketing and advertising. Thank you so much, Andrew. Searching for the best way to break through the clutter. Because we all have competition in our industries, and so how do we really make a connection with people? So I've developed an approach that's based on finding ways to speak to people, not so much about what you have to offer, but their issues, their problems. And then later on you talk about how you look to solve it. So it's like problem, solution. And their problem has nothing to do with your solution. Because they're not waking up and saying, gee, I need to find a valet storage company. They're not doing, gee, I need to find a broker. Or what do you do professionally?
Yeah, I provide on-demand engineers for software development projects.
Engineers?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we start out with what we call here, shall I use this one, Andrew, or a different? Is this the wrong?
So you can. This is fine, but as long as we just spray it with the Expo.
Okay.
Spray.
Maybe I'll use another one.
It's very important to get this
Get this
live
right.
on video. Which marker you're using?
Okay. It's called the.
Good morning. Come on.
Oh, hello.
How are you
it's
guys
good.
doing?
Good. The three
Plenty of seats. Plenty of seats today.
rules of marketing. So the 3 rules of marketing are really predicated on finding ways to get inside the head of your prospect, either in person or online, in any communication. What's your name?
Mike,
Mike, welcome.
thank you, Marty.
The first rule is no one cares about you. Now, that's hard for people to get, right? But it's true. Nobody cares about you. There's so many, they think people wake up and say, I need a marketing consultant today. No. They think they have some other things in mind. So no one cares about you. They have their own problems, they have their own issues, and you are not part of what they're thinking about, so they don't care about you. It's a tough thing for people to get because this is my business, I'm really passionate about it, but too bad. The second thing is, they will only remember the problem you solve. So what this means is that people like to talk about their credentials and their processes and their achievements and their notoriety, but nobody cares about that. They will only remember the problem you solve. They're only thinking about, I have a problem, I need to find an office space. That's the problem that they have. They'll only remember that piece. And then the next thing is, the third rule is, they won't do the work to figure it out. Because if I hear about a whole list of figure it out, if I hear about a whole list of things, I went to a conference recently with an IT guy who told me all about his platforms and stuff, and I had to sort of sift through all that and see how it related to me. People are not going to do that. They're not going to do the work to figure it out. So any questions about this? Anybody here so far? Good. So now, I'm going to ask each of you to come up, and this is the workshop piece, and talk about things, and stand in front of the group and address these questions. The problem you solve, and for whom.
Hi, Marty.
Oop, sorry.
So in this begins the process of your messaging, which is what I do professionally. I'm a messaging and branding consultant. And of course you're going to talk about your credentials and your background and your achievements and your process. Of course you're going to do that, but it's only after you've gotten through this piece of it about the problem you solve and for who. I see my writing was a little bit down, but my energy is actually up. I don't know why that happens.
That's good.
You get the idea. So each of us is going to have a turn in coming up and talking about the problem that they solve, which is not about them, and then for whom. Now, Andrew has a commitment at a short time, so, and by the way, I at the end of every one of these sessions, these meetups, I always acknowledge WeWork. They provide the space for free. So it's a shout out to WeWork. And typically I put a little pitch in at the end of the event about WeWork and its spaces, but since we happen to have somebody here who is in the sales area, we're going to let Andrew kind of do that for you.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Marty.
So you start out by saying my name is Chuck and I'm a lawyer.
Yes, so my name is Andrew. I do sales here at WeWork as well as global account management. So to kind of, go off of this, so I've been in real estate my whole life.
Hang on a second. So I'm going to just let you know that I like to get to the point quickly because I think brevity and clarity is critical. So I'm going to kind of jump in, and I've been told that I can be harsh, and maybe that's true, but it's out of a passion for this. So I'm going to jump in, pretty quickly. But it's not because I'm like being mean, or maybe I am being mean, but it's about getting to the point quickly.
Mean but well-meaning.
Mean, but that's good. Mean, but well-meaning.
I like that. We got that on.
Raphi,
We got that on
yeah.
tape. We got that on tape.
So
Talk
I
to
have
me.
about 120 seconds, but so essentially real estate my whole life, right? So
No.
But it goes
Nobody
into-
cares about you. Nobody cares about you.
So I understand real estate, right? I understand square footage. Everyone has that, right? There's a need in an office space, right? So WeWork provides a product, right? So my job is essentially to listen to people who are looking to grow their brand, grow their company, provide a workspace in a community where you're spending 40, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. So I work with members as well as new potential members to hear their needs, figure out how we can find a solution for them, and essentially solve their problem of building a team and growing a network.
Okay. Well, I might do it somewhat differently. May I
Yes, please.
step in?
Absolutely.
So hi, my name is Andrew, and I'm the sales director of WeWork. And we work with small to mid-sized firms, typically in this building. And the problem that they have is they need to find a place for their business that's affordable and flexible. And they can't find that because real estate is so expensive in New York. And they don't have a way to find what will really work for them, and this leaves them feeling frustrated and anxious.
No, spot on. Marty brings a great point there. It's flexible, right? So,
And hang on, don't walk past this, Andrew. I've given you a way that you present yourself that is completely different than what you said.
Right, right.
So, because remember, nobody cares about you or how many years you've spent in real estate.
I'm not speaking about myself.
Yeah, but you did.
Yes, and so I'm switching that up and just saying,
So give it a try in my particular methodology.
yes. Okay, so my name is Andrew. WeWork is a flexible solution for small, medium, large enterprise companies. It is a platform that creates an opportunity for companies to grow, as well as become better than what they are today.
Well, why do I need that?
You personally,
Well,
again,
I'm doing a little role play here, so why would somebody need that? Listen, I know this might make you nervous.
it's not nervous. It's just it's a different situation for how I and what WeWork does. So it's more identifying needs, listening to what they're looking for. So if it's a company of 2 that's looking to expand to 8, then the pitch for that point, right, is flexibility. So you're able to grow inside of a space, use our global network to be able to outsource, to hire, to recruit, to not have to put down 6 months of security. So someone from 2 looking to grow to 6, somebody at 30 who's looking to grow and grow a company culture. We provide a community where is different than what other products are able to provide. So our community, right? We hang out, me and you, Marty, we have great conversation all day, right? We're able to connect you with other people inside the building. It's a platform where it's unique in the real estate world in today's job market. You do have a lot of young, growing startup cultures where you're not walking into a building like Google in Chelsea where you have thousands of employees. You're bringing mid-sized companies together and creating a workspace that changes their day-to-day enjoyment of what a smaller company can provide in many different ways.
See, now, I know you have to go,
Yes.
and I see you have this very well rehearsed, but the thing that you didn't notice is no one cares about you.
By the way, it's really hard to swallow.
He had a hard time personally.
Everyone has a hard time realizing that no one
Right.
cares about them, but no one cares about you.
Wow.
And that conversation was all about you.
Mark, you
And nobody
care about
cared.
me.
No, see.
Some people care about me.
Listen, you guys are going to get the benefit of this. So nobody cares about all of that. Nobody cares about that. That's all about you care about that. What I gave you was a gift.
Yes.
And the gift was that small to mid-sized companies cannot find the workspace that they need to start or to grow their companies. And the reason is because the real estate prices here are insane and they're inflexible. And so that's the reason for it. And so this leaves people feeling anxious. That entire conversation is about what? The prospect.
The prospect. Correct.
I didn't mention one thing about any of that stuff you mentioned because no one cares about you. They will only remember the problem solving. I talked about the problem. And the problem is that real estate is impossible here in New York.
Yes.
And people are desperate to find a place that's flexible. That's what their problem is. So, now, listening to you, I have to sift through all that stuff to see what is relevant to me. And I won't do that because I won't do the work to figure it out.
Right.
Marty, I'd even say one of the other problems is that people are looking for community. People don't just want to work from their homes.
That'd be another great way to do it, because people are interested in community. It's true. But that's also about them. But don't talk about your solution, because your solution comes after. Once you got the hook in me that says, well, gee, I can identify with the problem, then you come in with your big, long-winded solution.
Right.
Your solution follows this. Of course, every one of us has a solution, and what makes us special and different, and a whole bunch of other things, our processes, and there's a whole bunch that follows that. But you can't get to chapter 2 unless you've done chapter 1. This is what.
So you're defining more or less, like, for me, my what I like to do is listen, so I can figure out where the problem occurs to be able to provide the solution. But I think, so what you're referring to more or less is what some people like to call an elevator pitch. So it's the quick, to the point, what you provide, nothing about you, more so what you can provide for them in a short amount of time.
Well, an elevator pitch is a distillation of your entire message. Mm-hmm. This is not about elevator pitch. And from this you can distill it into an elevator pitch.
Because yours was great. That was like
Thank you.
spot on.
He's done this before.
Yeah, that was spot on. So that was my confusion, just because the problem you solve it's unique for each individual.
No, it's
for
not.
Us personally.
No. The problem you solve, a brand is not based on everything. You're trying to be everything to everyone, and you're nothing to anyone. So you need to have a brand, you need to have a position in the marketplace that's singular and it's distinctive. And you're not going to get it with that whole list of things, because Regis would say exactly the same thing. How do I know? I shop Regis.
Well, right. But they're also...
And so would Emerge 212 and a whole bunch of others. They would say exactly what. Whether or not it's true is incidental.
But they're also, Regis is a great company. They're partners in our co-working environment.
That's incidental. No one cares about you or your products. Nobody cares about you or your products. No one. And the reason I'm making such a big deal about this, it's very hard because you come to work every day and you want to sell all these spaces. And you should want to sell these spaces.
I think help people with
So,
their ventures.
So you're being a good listener is a great trait, but still, this organization has a position in the marketplace, and that's what has to be true for you. And yes, community is the key piece. People yearn. You could certainly say people yearn for community and cheap real estate. You could say that too. That's a problem that they have. So you have to get people to want to identify with that first before you come in with your solution.
Marty, there are several problems that Andrew and WeWork address. Do you have to prioritize which of the problems? Like, it's 3 problems right there. It's price, it's real estate, and it is community.
Flexibility.
Right, and flexibility. So the question is, in what you're trying to do in this workshop, what do you do if there are several problems that you solve?
You can actually put them together. So small businesses in New York, the problem that they have is they're looking for inexpensive real estate. They're looking for flexibility, and they're looking for some way to have community. You could group them in that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfectly fine to do that.
Now you're covering all different...
all problems that they have.
That they have, right.
Right. You could certainly do that. I mean, since you have those 3, that would be reasonable to do that. But remember, in saying that, it has nothing to do with you.
With myself.
And then you have to figure, then the next question is, why do they have their problem?
Mm-hmm.
Because real estate in New York, the real estate people have us, by the neck.
Right.
Real estate is a very unpleasant business for people that have to deal with them here, because they have all the cards and we don't have anything. So you say that. That's the reason they have their problem, and then how does this leave them feeling they're desperate about what to do?
Right. Correct.
Now, once I, as a prospect, whether it's online or in person, get that you are with me, then I'll say, well, how do you solve it? The ideal response to this part of the branding is for people to say, how do you solve it? Like with my business, I go through the problem I solve for whom. Hopefully people will say, well, what do you do? What's your approach? What's your strategy? How do you solve that? Then I know I have their ear. Now, if somebody then, this happens occasionally, it happened to me yesterday, I was introduced to somebody, and I told her about what I do, the problem I solved for whom, and she changed the subject and talked about herself. So I knew this was probably a no. So I dropped her fast. This was at an event. So that enables you to make best use of your time by not talking about yourself at all.
And your time.
And I.
And your time.
So let's give it another try, and then we'll go on to somebody else, because I know you have to go.
Well, I'm actually past the point of where I have to go, but I will say this. As a long-term member of Marty, your understanding of WeWork is passionate to me. I'm impressed by the pitch, but also, seemingly so, you know, you have a...
I'm getting all this. It's all being recorded, so you can't deny what you're saying right now.
No, it makes me happy. It makes me happy to hear, you know, your understanding of WeWork is strong, and that's really cool.
No,
You know,
thanks.
someone who's been here for a while and is a very great member. Both Raphi and Marty have they're friends of the community, and you know, they brighten our day, and that's part of the get together.
Synergy. And one last thing I'll say is that at the end of these sessions, I typically will, since I know WeWork, I typically present it just as if I was a salesperson. And I'll see if you have any questions, go to the desk over there and see Andrew, who were your predecessors or wherever they
Yes.
were. But because I know what to say, because there are people in the room sometimes who do have that problem of being strangled by landlords and not having flexibility and looking for some kind of community. Typically, I'll say that at the end of every one of these sessions.
Right.
Anyway, now you have it.
So the three things I think was flexibility, unique workplace, so building company culture. Those are the two things that you like to highlight.
No, it's not company culture is your solution. I have a small business. I need to find a place that's conveniently located. I need to find an office.
Right.
First of all, I need an office
Right.
that I can afford. And it's flexible, gives me an opportunity to develop a community.
Correct.
That's it.
Love that.
That's it. That's it.
Love that.
Those are the problems that I have.
Yes.
And then after I ask you, well, Andrew, how do you handle it? Then you go into that big spiel that you do. None of that comes up front. I don't care about international stuff. It makes no difference to me. Sorry.
No.
He said I should be straight with you, so I
Yeah, no, it is. But it's also like you've touched every point of where the sales would be. So
Are you coming into
that's
the
awesome.
I can have separate consultations.
Yeah, seriously. That's great. So guys, thank you so much. I do have a call out to be on the manager on it today, but nice to meet all of you, and I'll see you on the way out. Okay. Cheers.
Okay, thank you so much.
My friend. I appreciate it.
I'm not shaking your hand.
I'm shaking hands because I'm not
I'm not
afraid.
doing it.
Thank you.
Neither are you two. Now, who would like to be next?
You're gonna have to pick.
Hi, my name is.
Hi, my name is Yanis. I'm into real estate, so for whom I work for both investors and property owners. Problem that we solve for investors is time. We skip all of the work they would normally go to the typical estate agent.
No, hang on. This is all about you. What is their problem?
The problem is the time. They want
What
quick
about the time?
returns.
Okay.
Yeah. So they want returns, quick delivery, less paperwork as possible, straight to the point, and basically safe returns, something that they can make money off, and no BS. So that's a problem we solve. Just
Is everybody clear about that? I'm not clear about what he said. Does anybody understand what he's talking about? I do.
Works in real estate.
That part I got.
That's no BS.
Well, I did. So you work with investors and
Property
and owners, and their problem. It seems to me, and I'm just sort of guessing because I didn't really understand. The problem that they have is they're not getting a fast enough return on their investment in real estate.
well enough return.
Enough return, not fast, because you mentioned fast.
Fast, I meant the process.
Now, that process is your business. So I
Okay.
don't care about process. So I work with real estate owners and property managers.
No, investors.
I'm sorry,
and owners.
investors and owners of real estate. And the problem they have is they're not getting the returns they want on their investment.
So they have a hard time giving out the money because they.
What's that?
They have a hard time giving out the money, or else they're scared about getting their money back.
Okay, and so why are they having a tough time getting a return on their investments?
Correct, yeah, so good question. For the main thing is the lack of the access to the pool of property owners that we have.
No.
So-
They're not concerned about you or your pool or anything related to you. So I'm a property owner, and I'm not getting the return that I wanted on this property. So why am I not getting the return? Was it a bad investment? Do I have bad management? Tell me.
Yeah, sorry, I meant the investor, not the property owner.
Okay.
So the problem that the problem that the investor have is not having enough returns. So our job, the problem we solve is actually finding properties for them that will gain the returns that they're looking for.
So investors, the problem that investors have is they can't make a determination about the best investments.
Good.
Because they don't have enough market knowledge to make the best choices. So that leaves them feeling anxious. I'm sort of making this up as I go along, but is that about right?
Yeah, that's yeah, you're the curse.
Marty's been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might have tell. And for property owners.
Yeah, so that's the other aspect of our
Okay, so
business.
tell us about that.
Sure. So that problem we solve is again basically getting the offer they're looking for. So the main problem the property owners have is they put their house on the market and they don't have any offers. So their house is sitting there, whether it's a commercial, residential property, the house is just sitting there and they're getting frustrated, anxious, they don't get any offers.
All right, so
They cannot get rid of it.
So the problem that the property owners have is they're not getting any bids on their property. That's because people don't know about it. And this leaves them feeling desperate.
Pricing
Oh, well, that's part of the, right?
Correct.
Isn't that faster and more
That's-
to the point?
Fair enough. Can I get a recording of that?
Yeah. So Marty,
Yes,
his company solves two problems.
correct.
So you're in an elevator. Which one do you do first?
Well, what you could do in your particular case is you'd say we work with both of these people, and the problem that both of them have is they're not getting what they want out of their properties. And you could have, so this is what's called a brand. And then you have sub-brands. You have a sub-brand. So if I'm Nike, Nike's brand is about performance. That's it. Then they have a sub-brand. They have men's, women's, children's, extreme sports, it goes on and on. And each of them have their own brand. But there's something about your company is that, so your brand will be based on really solving problems for property investors and owners. And in general, they're not getting what they want out of their properties. They're not getting the returns. And then, so that's how you can solve the problem about combining it. You want to have something that enables people to buy into what it is that you're selling. And then you can go into that long story, just like Andrew went with that long story about all those things and who cares initially. Eventually, I'd like to know, do you have a place in Singapore? Can you sell property for me in Singapore? Eventually, but not right away.
Right.
Does that sound right?
That's fair enough.
All right. Clap, 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 clap.
Okay, who's next, Niall?
How you doing, guys? My name is Niall. I work for a company called Simplified Valet Storage. And basically the problem we're solving is for New Yorkers, especially in Manhattan, is storage issues. So basically our main
Hang on, for whom would you work with? Residential, commercial?
Simplified Valet Storage. Storage is its own niche kind of market we've discovered.
No, but I'm saying, do you work typically with?
Residential.
Oh,
Sorry,
that,
yes.
I work with residential.
So residential owners, and basically the problem we're solving for them is especially the residents without cars who can't bring their storage to off-site storage units that you're not going to find in Manhattan, or they're going to be very expensive. We basically bring bins and storage.
That's all your
boxes.
solution. That's your solution.
Okay.
So remember, the solution is important, but as we've just discovered, that comes later.
Okay.
So what is, like, I have a co-op I've had for a long time. So I would identify with your target audience.
Okay.
So what is my problem?
Problem is square footage in Manhattan is increasing.
No, that's an analysis. It seems to me, I can perfectly identify with this. The problem I have is that I don't have enough space to store my stuff. And And it's because, you know, my building doesn't have a place for it. And I would like to, and so this leaves me feeling, you know, frustrated about what I can do. That's really it, seems to me.
Yeah.
Because that's all about me. Because I actually have a storage unit which is completely jammed